What's going on YouTube world? Austin Zaback here with another YouTube video. And in today's video, I want to talk to you about passive income in 2020, okay? And my top favorite way to make passive income, okay, in 2020, right? So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. So this is gonna be an interesting video because the way that I'm gonna be talking about how you can make passive income, I've had a lot of people tell me,
Austin, that industry is dead, it is no longer, it's not gonna be a thing in 5 years, it isn't gonna be a thing in 10 years.
Whatever the case is, and I genuinely believe that it is still a phenomenal way to make passive income, okay? So let's just go ahead and kind of dive into it a little bit more. And I'm gonna debunk every myth about the particular industry that I'm talking about. And you might even be thinking like,
Austin, there is no way in heck that what you're about to talk about is the best way to make passive income in 2020.
But I'm gonna kind of break down why I believe that is not true. And I know, right? There are so many different ways out there that you can make passive income. I mean, there are so many different YouTubers out there talking about passive income. And in all honesty, with the power of social media and the power of the internet, there really are a lot of different ways that you can make passive income, okay? And I know that right now it is more important than ever to make that money every month on the month. And that is truly what passive income is all about. I feel like people get that terminology kind of twisted all the time, but at the end of the day, people want to know that the money is actually passive, meaning it is gonna come in no matter what, right? Whether you're on the beach, sipping a mojito, whether you're traveling the world, regardless of what it is that you're doing, the passive income will continue to come in every month on the month. So today, we're gonna be talking about the ATM business. And before you're like,
Austin, I'm gonna click off the video, I have no interest in the ATM business, it costs too much money to get involved in, it's too complicated, I can't afford an ATM, I can't afford to load the ATM, and cash is gonna be pretty much non-existent in the next decade.
I encourage you just to go ahead and first and foremost, hear me out till the end of the video and smash the like button, okay? If you haven't already, it really does actually help me out a ton with the YouTube algorithm. So according to CNBC in 2018, cash still represented about 31% of all transactions, okay? Now I know that was a couple of years ago, and we're living in kind of a crazy time right now where there's a million different things kind of going on. We're living in a time that nobody's ever seen before. Unemployment is at an all-time high. The stock market is at an all-time high, which doesn't even make any sense. The stock market's clearly not tied to the economy whatsoever. Real estate prices are booming. People are pretty much sitting at home. Jeff Bezos is getting rich. And at the end of the day, you're like, Austin, there's just no way that I want to get started in the ATM business. But I got a little kind of couple of secret tips and tricks for you as it pertains to passive income. And I personally believe, okay, that if you get into the ATM business, even if you just familiarize yourself with the industry, you're gonna realize that it is actually a lot better of a source of passive income than you probably would have imagined. So to the point of all the people talking about how cash is going away, there's actually been several countries that have tried getting rid of cash in the past, okay? And it has not worked. As a matter of fact, it has totally backfired on them entirely. And as a matter of fact, in the beginning of everything that was going on right now, okay, so in like March and April, May, there were multiple different places throughout the country that tried banning cash, essentially calling it unsanitary, saying that, they weren't gonna accept cash. And the US pretty much came in, okay, and said you actually have to accept cash because it is kind of a form of discrimination, right? What if people don't have a bank account? And there's a vast majority of people in 2020 that don't have a bank account, right? They can't afford to have a bank account. And you look at the lower and middle class of America, and at the end of the day, a lot of these people are still using cash. People have been saying cash is gonna go away forever, okay? The modern check of what we know today actually was born back in 1659 in London, okay? When the first, I guess, handwritten check had ever happened. And they were probably saying back then, like, cash is not gonna be a thing. People are gonna write checks, whatever the case is. And then you look at other stories back in like 1949 where, the guy actually paid with the first credit card and the credit card industry was then born, okay? He paid on like a little cardboard card and that ended up basically turning into the credit card industry. And people were probably, again, like cash is going to go away, right? And when you really look throughout history, there's been so many different examples of why cash should have gone away. And then of course you fast forward to today and you've got Bitcoin and Litecoin and Ethereum and Zelle and Apple Pay and Cash App and Venmo, and there are all of these different ways to pay. And at the end of the day, what do people do, right? In 2018, well, we see that cash is still the preferred payment method throughout the entire country. And just so you have a little bit of perspective, the only reason that the United States or any country for that matter has ever really tried to kind of diminish cash or ever kind of, put out this idea to the American people that, hey, cash is gonna be no longer is because they're just trying to cut down on a couple of different things. They're trying to cut down on tax evasion and drug trafficking, okay? Pretty much, the buying and selling and trade of drugs, and then also people avoiding paying their taxes to Uncle Sam. And some economists actually say that without cash, central banks would be able to fight recessions a little bit more effectively because essentially they'd have an effective way to impose negative interest rates, okay? And I'm obviously reading a couple of different articles here, but look, at the end of the day, people choose to pay in cash. The Fed has also pretty much stayed on the sidelines saying that there's substantial leaps and bounds that they would have to make with cybersecurity before they could ever go to a cashless society, okay? And even then, is cash really ever gonna go away? So look, the reality of it is, and we're gonna jump into why this pertains to passive income, but there's a large or a vast majority of the world that not only maybe can't afford to have a bank account, but a lot of people can't afford to have the technology where they're able to send and receive, these electronic payments, okay? You really look at the vast majority of the world that relies on cash to exchange, goods and services, right? To buy and to sell and to trade or barter or whatever, leveraging cash as a currency. So I'm gonna go ahead and break down why the ATM business is a phenomenal passive income method in 2020, okay? Now I've made a lot of other videos on the ATM business, so if you're brand new to my channel, I really appreciate you being here. Definitely make sure that you stay till the end of the video. I'd really appreciate it, but we're just gonna go ahead and jump right into it. Okay, so the ATM business in a nutshell is very, very simple, right? You buy an ATM machine, okay? So I'll show you right here. You buy an ATM machine, and an ATM machine on average, to kind of break down the numbers for you, costs about $2,500 for a brand new machine. Now, I'm gonna get a bunch of haters that know the ATM business way better than I do, and they're gonna say that you can buy an ATM for $2,000 or whatever. Look, an average ATM machine costs about $2,500, okay, for a brand new machine. So now you need somewhere to place the ATM, right? Nobody's going to get paid unless people use the ATM machine. It makes all the sense in the world, right? So what do you gotta do? You gotta buy an ATM, and now all you have to do is you have to place it in a high traffic or high volume location where people are using cash on a day-to-day basis. And there's a lot of different examples of this, okay? Barbershops are actually really, really good. Nail salons, believe it or not, are incredible. Bars, like all these hole-in-the-wall bars throughout the entire country are amazing. A lot of laundromats can be very good. There are so many different examples of a good ATM location. So you find an ATM location, right? You negotiate with the owner of the location and you say, look, I'm gonna place my ATM in your location, and essentially it's gonna be free to the owner of the store, right? I'm not gonna charge you anything, nothing like that, okay? Very, very simple, don't overcomplicate it. There's not a bunch of crazy stuff that you need to get involved in the industry, okay? You need an ATM and you need a location. You maybe get a 2-year contract, a 3-year, a 4-year, or a 5-year contract, and you place your ATM in that location for that duration of time. Now, without getting too much into it, and I'm happy to get into it more in another video, I haven't made an ATM video in a long time, but at the end of the day, it is very simple. You place your ATM in the location, you get a bank that will let you process ATM transactions. There's multiple different banks throughout the country that'll let you do that. You just have to get onto Google, get onto a form, drop into the comments section below. I can give you a little bit of guidance, okay? But you can kind of look it up or call different banks that are okay with the ATM business. And then essentially all you do is you set a surcharge fee. So that is the fee that whenever somebody goes to use your ATM machine, they pay that fee. Now, here's where I believe it is the best passive income in 2020, okay? Look at the numbers. Now, essentially, you pay $2,500 for an ATM machine, right? Now, you don't have to actually load it with your own cash. You can if you want to, but you don't have to. You can get what they call a loader, okay? And a loader will load your ATM machine for you with their cash, and you just pay them typically 75 cents to $1 per transaction. But remember, your total surcharge fee is going to be anywhere from probably $3 to $5. Okay, so you're paying them, at the very most, a third of your overall surcharge fee. But now it is truly passive income because you don't even have to go load the machine. So you take a $2,500 investment and assume that your ATM does 150 transactions a month, which isn't too hard to do if you get a decent location. And if your surcharge fee is $3 and you pay $1 to a loader, so all your initial investment is $2,500, you're gonna make $300 a month in passive income. You can travel the world, you can do whatever it is that you want to do and make $300 a month on a $2,500 investment. Now, if you can do some simple math, $300 times 12 months is about $3,600 a year, okay? So $3,600 a year on a $2,500 investment, if you ask me, is an incredible, incredible passive income stream. Now, just multiply that by 2, 3, 4, 5, or 10, whatever the number is, and that will give you the passive income to essentially pay your bills, pay your car payment, pay your phone bill, or do whatever it is that you want to do, right? It is more of a side hustle. I'm not saying get in the ATM business and make it your full-time job or your full-time career, right? I started in the ATM business and it was a side hustle for me. I didn't even mean to get in the industry. I got one ATM and it scaled from there. And to this very day, the ATM business for me has been a side hustle. It is still not my main thing that I do, right? My main thing that I do is I'm a real estate agent and I'm a real estate investor, okay? And the ATM business is a total side hustle. You're not gonna get that ROI in any other industry, right? And I myself, I invest in the stock market, right? I invest into Fundrise. I have crowdfunding, online real estate platforms that I invest in, right? I invest in all sorts of different things. I invest into real estate. I have buy and hold, rental properties, right? I fix and flip real estate. I do all of these different things. And, the ATM business, just quite simply put, will literally return a higher ROI than any other industry out there, which is why it is my favorite. And again, I'm a little bit biased because I'm in the business, right? I've been in it for a little while. So, I encourage you, take everything with a grain of salt, but definitely don't overcomplicate it, okay? An ATM machine will last you forever. It's not something that breaks down all the time. There's not a lot of maintenance involved. If you have a loader loading your machine, then there's really not a lot of work involved at all, right? You essentially find the location, buy an ATM, install the ATM, which again, there are people out there that'll do that for you for $100 or $200. And you find a loader, which again, they are not hard to find. And I know personally that you can find one in any state in the United States, okay? So I just wanted to kind of make a video explaining why I believe the ATM business is a phenomenal passive income method as more of a side hustle, okay, in 2020. And if you want any more information, I'm happy to give it to you, okay? I'm gonna start posting very frequently on my YouTube channel. Again, I really wanna blow up on YouTube, okay? And I can't do that without your love and your support. I appreciate you so much for watching today's video. If you haven't already, I would really appreciate it if you would like the video, okay? It really does actually help me out with the YouTube algorithm. Drop in the comment section below if you have any other questions on the ATM business. I would love to answer them for you. And I have a bunch of links in the description below you can definitely check out. Also, again, I really appreciate you watching and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.